is amazing. Water is life. We're ready to go, baby.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's cheers. Let's start off with a little cheers.
All right, cheers, big dog. Episode 2.
Episode 2, like Attack of the Clones.
That was the second one, right? What was the third one? Revenge?
Revenge of the Sith. Okay.
No, it wasn't Sith.
Yeah, it was Revenge of the
I
Sith.
thought it was Revenge of the Jedi.
Episode 3 is Revenge of the Sith.
That was 3. 2 was Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Okay.
We should restart this.
Yeah, we should restart this. All right. So in the first episode, we kind of touched on like the idea of the podcast and like the name, where it came from. But yeah, I thought it would be worth kind of just giving like a little overview of each of our lives, like why we are at the spaces that we are now. Like, for example, you being a teacher, why you chose the teaching route. And then maybe I can touch on a little bit of why I went the creative route and how I ended up in the space that I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, obviously, we are in our 30s. We're not literally having a midlife crisis, but when I thought the name was hilarious when you brought it up, really, because it's so relatable. Like, it's just, there's definitely something to the effect of transitioning from your 20s to your 30s, not being able to do a lot of the things that you used to do, like, you know, hangover is a little worse when you have a certain amount of beers. You know, you can't move your body the same way that you used to. You feel a lot more pressure, maybe just thinking long-term life, like what you want out of life. You don't feel this like the feeling of time is like, at least for me, when I was in my 20s, I just felt like I had so much time, and we do still have time, but it just feels different. So that's really what this is. And again, I know that we already touched on it, but I thought it was worth just touching on it again, just to be a little bit more elaborate on. The thought is to hopefully create that space for guys like us, even women too, that are similar age, you know, late 20s to early 40s, that are just having those life moments and have similar interests. So
I just want to listen to a podcast that can discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. And just, you know, hang out, have fun. Okay, let's talk about like why you became a teacher.
Okay. I'll keep it brief.
Yeah, just brief. Like,
so my dad, also being a high school teacher, kind of like was always my role model, my mentor in that space. And I remember still like going to his classroom when I was little and kind of seeing what he did. And I was like, damn, like this is pretty cool. So when I left, you know, high school, I had no idea really what I was going to do. Went to SDSU for business. Didn't like it. And then by the end of my 4 years there, I was like, I can't change my major now, but I can at least like maybe try and see if that I can excel in an educational space too. I liked working with kids. I liked tutoring. I liked being an RA on campus at SDSU. So then I went to UCR for the secondary education program to teach high school English or middle school English. Hated middle school, but liked high school. And got into coaching, coached basketball for a couple of years. Liked it. Didn't love it. It was a lot of time. Got into coaching golf, got into the AVID program, a few different things out on campus. And so now I'm 8 years in and I'm enjoying it. But I don't see myself really doing too much else besides like teaching kids for a long time.
Yeah, it's cool how we've definitely hit that point now where we are no longer new to the spaces that we're in. I mean, you know, it's been plenty of years. Definitely enough years to like really be an expert in what you do. So, and then for me, like my journey, we've known each other since we were teenagers. You've always known me as, I'm sure, like the creative guy.
Very
you know,
artsy,
got into music since I was 13, and through music, I mean, I did music for like, I want to say like 13 years, performing, producing, you know, doing all that stuff, meeting a lot of like people in those spaces, and then needing cover art. So then learning how to design. And so my experience going to college and joining fraternity and like being like the graphic design, like marketing chair, and like making the t-shirts for parties and events and things like that. It's so funny because I never thought of design as like a career field that I would get into, but I just kind of fell into it. And I think it made sense. I mean, you know, it's just another avenue of creativity, and I've been lucky and blessed to be able to do really cool, fun shit for my job. So, you know, like working corporate design for a big company and
a few different companies.
Yeah, a few different companies. Yeah, now, but and even like doing work on the outside, freelancing and stuff on occasion. But it's just been dope to like be able to still bring elements of like the kid that I was at 13 and like having that creativity. And then now it's like, okay, like I do this for work,
Yeah.
So, still have that curiosity and that like energy for figuring out like, oh, how can I make this idea real? So, that's essentially who I am.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it short for the purpose of this intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think it's worth just saying so that not just for like the people that listen, but even just like obviously we know each other, but just to set the stage.
Like it's not our only identity per se, but it's what we do on a day-to-day basis and what we think about a lot and what stresses us out, but what also keeps us going, I think. And I wouldn't do anything else, to be honest, besides teach. And I think you wouldn't do anything else besides be creative in your space too. So
no, it's honestly biggest blessing. I saw a stat recently about, I think I might have said this on the first episode too, but I saw a stat of like how many people are able to do creative jobs, and it's low. So it's for sure a blessing. So and it's interesting too, because obviously you're my close friend and I have other close friends that know what I do, but I'm sure there are people that still just see me as like, oh, that's the guy, the music guy, so but it's become,
there's more,
and not even just in recent time, it's just I've always just been like this like Swiss Army knife of or I try to be, so, and then now we're here doing another creative thing. So
just trying something.
But yeah, okay, I think that's a good setup. We are having some Coors Light right now, enjoying it. I think that's a good setup. Let's get started with what we're going to talk about today.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Chest coming through to your chest. Chest.
1, 2, 3. Stupid. Okay.
Let me drink some water.
Okay, I got you.
But all right, let's move on to another topic. This past Friday, Playboi Carti dropped an album. I am not someone that necessarily listens to Playboi Carti, but it did come up on my feed, and I have heard songs in the past, and I was just like just relating it to a lot of what I do and trying to stay in the know culturally with music and things going on. I was like, let me just give it a listen. There are some songs I like. A lot of the first songs that play in the album, I'm like, what is this, But I think I asked you before we started recording if you heard about it or you knew about it, and you're like, no.
So no idea that an album dropped. But today I was with my students, and I just asked one of them. I said, Chris, give me a song to get us pumped up for the day. This is fourth period after lunch. And he said, put on Crank by Playboi Carti.
That's from the new album?
I don't know. But I was like, all right, is it clean? And he said, no. And I said, all right. So we put it on. He's like, Mr. Ward, you can't even understand what he's saying anyway. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like Carti. So I put it on, and I was like, oh, I wasn't really liking it. But I let it play for a solid 2 minutes. It wasn't for me. Have you heard that one or?
No, I mean, maybe I have. I'm not I gave it one. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the whole project, because it's a lot of songs. It's 30 songs, I think.
That's too much for a project.
I think so. I think you could have left some songs off. And there's one song that I like though. It's called Backdoor.
Okay,
that was good. Kendrick's on like 3 songs, I think.
Do I want to know what it's about?
I see what you're saying. No, it's a good song. You should listen to that one. I actually think you would like that song. But anyway, I wanted to bring this up because obviously, as we've gotten older, I mean, my experience making music growing up, I was always staying on top of like the new hot artists or whatever. Like, I mean, J. Cole before. Like super early when he was dropping music.
You were on him quick.
Really early. I used to be on the hotnewhiphop.com blog way back when it was just URL links.
As like Dat Piff? Is that the same as Hot New Hip Hop?
No, Hot New Hip Hop was more of a hey, check this song out from this random artist. And it was so funny because back in the day it used to just be labeled like whatever the URL link was to download the song, and then it would just say hot very hot or very, very, very hot.
Okay. So you would
to
only
like check,
would
see
you
how good it
download
is.
all the very, very hot ones? Or?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll give a chance to some of the other ones, but that's how I would get exposed to a lot of music back then.
Okay.
And, now obviously that we've gotten older, for me, like being a parent, you being focused with work, career, marriage, do you find yourself putting in any effort to stay up to date on music, or do you not care anymore?
I think that when it comes to hip hop specifically, when I was, high school, college, I was trying to listen every Friday. I was even doing, if you remember, like on Instagram for a while, I was doing my Fresh Find Friday song of the week or album of the week, project of the week. And it was fun because, every Friday or every Thursday night at 9, someone would drop. But now, no, like I'll listen to what the kids are listening to. I'll give it a chance, and I'll probably never listen to it again. I've noticed, and Tori has told me this too, that I'm on the same, probably like 10 artists right now, and it's been the same way for probably 2 years. And I use the DJ function on my Spotify because I'm so lazy to scroll through and actually pick what I want. So once the AI, is just playing those songs that it knows that I like, I'll just skip to whatever I want to hear for the day, whether it be punk or country or whatnot. So the AI is doing what it's supposed to, but it's also, I think, limiting me into seeing new music. I haven't heard new music in a long time.
Yeah. I'm kind of in a similar boat. I'm kind of weird though, because I've never been one to really get into making playlists and stuff. I do have some, but I'm the type to search for every song that I want to listen to.
Okay. So if something comes to your
I'll
head,
play albums.
Yeah. Just all the way through.
All the way through. Yeah. But again, I think it's because I made music. So my mentality going into it is different.
Yeah. Well, and you made hip hop. So let me ask, do you like the hip hop now? Is it still the trap focus? Is it shifting? What's going on now? I don't really know.
It's hard, dude, because I haven't really kept up. It's been at least 5 years since I made music, really. And I'll try to just check the top charts on Spotify whenever I can.
Is it the New Music Friday? Will you go on that playlist at all?
Not really.
Okay.
I find myself...
Rap Caviar?
Yeah, see, I'll check out that playlist or others, but I don't know. I guess the only comment or take that I have on it is that it's not necessarily for me. I don't think it's bad music. I just think it's different. I don't think that it speaks to people in the same way, on a mass market scale. There's just less music, in my opinion, that you can play at a club, for example, or something like that.
Okay.
It's very melodic, very auto-tuned still. It's just that melodic rap. So I don't know, some good stuff. Let's move on. Let's move on to tech and gaming.
All right, let's see.
Okay, so I'm going to open it up and then I'll pass it to you.
Okay.
The main topic is subscription services. And just in general, how many subscription services we have and how it's so easy to
forget,
to lose track. Yeah.
How many do you think you have? And could you name them off the top?
Fuck. No.
What's your most used then? Let's say that first.
Probably Netflix is the most obvious. I do have a lot of, entertainment streaming subscriptions. I'll forget though. I'm pretty sure I have Hulu, for example, but I don't really use Hulu.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to get rid of it just in case there's that one movie
that drops. That one show you need it.
Yeah. How do you feel about there being so many streaming platforms now though, and you have to pay all these monthly fees just to be able to watch one movie on one, another show on another?
It's gotten to the point now it's more expensive than cable ever was.
Yeah.
And I don't use half of them ever, right? And me and Tori have everything because, like you said, I want to watch it at the best quality. And if something does come out on Prime or Paramount or HBO or whatever, I want to make sure I have it that day. That's just kind of the thing in me that I need.
Yeah.
But I can't keep up, and I don't think most people can keep up. Have you seen that app? I think it's Rocket Money, or it's the one app that shows you all your services. Yep. But it's so ironic because you have to pay for it, and it is a subscription service. And I was like, this is peak. of the times right now. So I did get it actually, and
Yeah,
I
I
did
have it
find
too.
some stuff, and I was like, damn, like
This
I
is
didn't
not
know.
an ad.
Yeah, no, it's not, because I deleted it. I deleted it literally.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude, I actually think it's pretty helpful though.
but once you see all your stuff that you have and you delete it, like, why do you still need the Rocket app?
Well, I mean, for me, it helps me keep track of like everything I'm spending money on.
Oh, just in general. So it's
right?
not just the services.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So-
I see that. But like for the services, I just wanted to see what I'd forgotten
And
about.
just get rid of what you don't need.
Got rid of it all, and then I deleted that subscription as well.
Okay, it's smart.
And it did help. And now I think I know what I'm paying for. I also love that, and maybe this is just like the friend in me. I want to share my services with my friends, and I hope that like they would also, share what I don't have with me, and they do. Like Isaac shared.
We do
his
not
stuff.
share subscriptions. I don't know what he's talking about. They're watching.
Oh shoot, you're right. Wait, what did I just say? No, let's cut that. No, but like for real. Well, can you remember when Netflix like cracked down? It was probably a
Yeah.
few months ago. They were like, you can't share your services
Yeah.
anymore with the people that are in your household. And that pissed me off because I was like, fuck, like I need Netflix. And it made me get a Netflix account because I needed to watch wrestling.
Yep.
So it worked. And now I have a Netflix, and now like my parents have their own Netflix, and it's different. It just made me mad.
I might be wrong, but I think at the time they weren't doing very well as a business, and that's why they were so aggressive with that move.
And now it
now
fixed them.
they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think from a business standpoint, it made sense for them to do. But yeah, like
makes me
I remember
mad.
being upset too because we had a shared account. It's funny because whenever the idea of this comes up, it makes me think of a conversation that I had with Sterling a long time ago when like, subscriptions started rolling out.
Yeah.
It was back then it was based around music though. Like this is when Apple Music first started, pushing
Coming out.
streaming because
Yeah.
before that obviously it was iTunes.
yeah.
And like Sterling would buy all of his music.
Yeah, same. I did too.
To like own the songs.
You didn't buy yours?
I didn't really buy that much music back then.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I bought CDs, but I wasn't on iTunes buying singles.
But you were downloading like the tapes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
paying for it though.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy the physical music, and then once you upload to iTunes, it would register it that way. But but yeah, just like I remember even back then, him and I would talk about this, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I could just see it. We're gonna be paying monthly fees for everything." And here we are. So
Well, that goes now into video games and other content as well. When you have these free to play games that are taking advantage of kids, taking advantage of me, because so like all our homies will make fun of me because I'll play Apex Legends, once every 3 months. But every time I hop back on it, I'm like, damn, like I need that battle pass. It's $10, and I'll get it, and I'll play for 2 days, and then I won't play it again.
same with Call of Duty.
Same with Call of Duty, right? You spend $70 on the same game every year. This year it was Black Ops 6, and we have put some hours into it, but then they also push the battle pass that you need because you want that goddamn Ninja Turtle skin.
Yep.
Or you want that Squid Game skin, which season 2 was terrible. But
Yeah.
and the same thing right now, I'm playing PGA. I'm playing a lot actually. I put in a few hours on Saturday. I'm getting better. But they also have the same, Clubhouse pass. So you spend $70 and then $10 a month, not a month, $10 every 3 months if you want all the content.
Yep. Yeah. Which I mean is very smart from a business point
Yeah,
of view.
it
But
is.
from us on our end actually trying to just enjoy the game for what it is, it's
Well, it makes me feel like I'm a dummy, and I am because I'm buying it.
So bring back the days where we could just plug in the system and then we're good. We have the entire game there.
Besides that, like, what else are you looking forward to in terms of games this year? Any other ones?
I'm looking forward to the new Nintendo Switch.
You're gonna get it?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it.
When's it come out?
I don't know what specific month, but it's supposed to drop this year.
Okay.
My guess is like holidays. That would make the most
Have
sense.
they released any game announcements for it or said what's coming out?
If they have, I haven't seen it.
Probably a new Mario, right? That like drops with it, or Mario Party or Mario Kart, right?
It's Mario Kart.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
because Party just came out.
Yeah, Mario Kart. There is a new Mario Kart. I forgot about it.
We played the new Mario Party like once, like
It's fun.
twice, but we didn't play it that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. But okay, but is it not a good game because we don't play it? Or
No,
are
it's a
we just-
great game.
Yeah, okay.
It was a great game. Like I had so much fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
And we played it like 3 times, and I was like, oh damn, never again. I guess. I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, so I'm not getting the new Switch right now.
Yeah, I'll be getting it. Just because, I mean, with Cairo, it'll be cool to have those moments with him.
And he's getting to that age where he can figure it out and do it himself.
Well, let's move along.
Can I really quickly say a couple games I'm looking forward to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, please.
Dude, okay. So NCAA, the new one coming out in July. That football game took over my summer last year. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
I was locked in.
You were sure to let us know every morning.
Yeah,
what your plans were.
Because I was playing. Like, I was on summer break, so I'd wake up in my underwear and hop over to the PS5 and turn on my Dynasty mode, Michigan Wolverines, trying to take them back to the chip. And I did. I didn't do it on the highest difficulty because I didn't know I was on the second highest, but I got all the way there. I won it all. And I'm not going to lie, it was like the best moment of my summer. I swear, I texted everybody that I know, and when I finally got to the championship and won, Georgia took me down like at least 5 championships in a row. They were my arch nemesis. Finally beat them one year, and I was like, all right, I'm done with this game. My summer is complete. I remember texting that out. So I'm excited this year to do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah, because it was, dude, growing up, NCAA football was...
That was your shit.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
That's why you became a fan, right?
That's why I became a Michigan fan. Yeah. And we'll talk about like that, just Michigan in general to me is part of my identity. I've never even been there, never been to the stadium, but when NCAA 06 came out and Desmond Howard was on the cover doing his little Heisman pose, and they had the maize and blue, like striped helmets going, I was like, man, how could I not? So I play that game all the time, since then. And the game didn't come out for 11 years. And when it finally came back last year, like me and Jason were like, oh, it's time.
Yeah.
So
now I never got into any NCAA games, but the one football game that I was all about was NFL Street V3 on the Xbox.
No, there was no V3. I don't think was there.
I think it was V3, or was it V2?
There was V2.
Was it V2?
Yeah, Street 2.
You know what? I think I'm getting mixed up with the NBA.
Okay, so this is a good conversation. What NBA Street did you like the most?
V3.
Okay.
But that's because I didn't play V2. V2 was the one with the guy with the afro on the cover, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think his name was Stretch.
Okay.
And I'm also a V3 guy. Isaiah will say V2 was the best. To me, V3 was... Yeah. I think Baron Davis was on the cover of V3.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. And I had the GameCube version, so they had like the Nintendo collab and the Mario characters.
Yes. What a game.
Dude, we started playing it because I think Blockbuster was still around at the time.
Yeah.
And you used to be able to go rent games. So
you still can GameFly.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm not. Okay, you know what? Actually, I've seen the ads before. But anyway,
GameFly is where they send you it in the mail and you just play it for however long, and then you just mail it back. I had it for a couple of years. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, like back then, that's how we would get exposed to a lot of new games, is renting and just playing them for a couple of days.
But you only had it for 5 days or maybe 7.
Yeah, whatever it was.
That's a quick turnaround.
Nonstop.
Yeah. That's why whenever your parents or whoever took you to go get a game, you're like, all right, like I can't do anything else this week. Like we paid for this.
Good night, mom and dad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah.
Though. Let's move on to hot takes.
Okay.
Do you want to start with yours?
Yeah, I do actually. And this one came to me this morning as I was driving to school on a Monday morning, and it made me think about as a teacher, like how life was back in 2020. Teaching online, like what it was like going through COVID, going through that whole next year of online teaching. And my hot take is that we should go back into lockdown for 3 months a year.
Okay, but why?
I think that like the first few months, first like 2-3 months of lockdown, everybody was having a good time.
Yeah, actually.
So if we do that, just like maybe 2 months a year, like, and it can be different months every year, or we can be the same months. Maybe pick the 2 shittiest months of the year that everybody doesn't like, and just say we're going into lockdown. You don't have to wear a mask. You just have to like stay in your house, and you can't go to work. You have to work from home. You have to play online, whatever. You can't see your homies. Maybe you can golf. You got to stay apart. But I just remember, dude, like the first few months of lockdown, I was like, I can do this. I don't know. Like, did you feel the same?
Dude, we were playing so much Warzone.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Apex, Warzone. And mind you, like for my job, it was okay because I could still teach online. And for me, that was fun. I actually enjoyed it. Some people obviously like it
wouldn't work.
No, this would not work at all. But it's a hot take because I wanted to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It was a fun time until it wasn't. But it was
So like, okay, let me ask, like, when for you did it turn from, okay, this is like kind of fun being off, into like, oh, like I'm going crazy now?
It happened pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, you get
maybe
crazy.
like a couple weeks.
2 weeks, that's it?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I like being around people.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that, people, I think for me, actually, like I learned a lot about myself, like kind of just being by myself and being with Tori just all the time. It made me also realize that, like, I love my wife and like could actually like, go the distance with her.
Yeah.
Because
you won't get like over her.
Yeah. Because like literally couldn't do anything else. We did a lot of fun stuff. I remember like going and picking up like growlers from different breweries, and like we bought Nerf guns and we were having Nerf fights in our like apartments because we were so freaking bored.
Yeah.
But it just, it was fun because we were hanging out. We were watching, of course, a lot of stuff. Me and you and probably our homies. That's when we got into golf, because that's the only thing we could do.
Yep.
We couldn't, go to, bars or whatever. We were just, out there golfing all the time. So in a way, like I'm still actually really thankful for that time, even though it was shitty.
Yeah. There was some good that came from it. Yeah. I mean, maybe it would have been different if it was a short amount of time, like you're describing. But I do feel like because it was so long, like speaking for myself, even still, I feel like there's like, not that I lost my social skills or my ability to talk to people, but there was definitely like a learning curve again.
Coming back
in. Yeah. Like, oh, was that a joke? Am I supposed to laugh here?
Yeah.
Like, just like
moments
like, yeah, it's like extra thinking, like overthinking,
When we came back, like everybody was wearing masks, right? So for me being in the classroom, it was super the same thing. Like I was trying to figure out how to teach in front of people again, and all my students had masks on, which of course, like we're trying to figure this out. But I couldn't tell like if they were getting what I was saying, and I had a mask on too. So I would tell this hilarious joke.
Nobody would laugh,
and nobody would laugh, or they would laugh, and I couldn't tell who laughed. And I was like, wait, like, which joke or which person like vibed with that joke? It was just weird.
Yeah.
And I just remember also thinking to myself, like, man, I got used to teaching on Zoom with black screens looking at me. And mind you, my students on Zoom would always laugh in the chat at least, but no one had their face on.
Like what? Just type in like
ha 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 ha.
Just straight face.
Yeah, and again, like this is kind of why I enjoy doing this right now, is because I remember like talking to myself for 4 hours a day with black screens, literally, looking at me on my Zoom, and all the kids would tell me that they were just in bed. They would turn me on and then probably like hit mute or whatever. But some of them actually did engage in the chat, and it was nice to have that little level of interaction, daily for a few hours. But yeah, it was weird coming back.
Yeah.
So do you think that you're like back to normal now?
Almost. I do think that there's like this leftover effect of, that time period. I don't think it's like completely gone, but I will say that, IRL experiences just can't be beat.
Okay.
In real life,
like
just being able to talk to people, get like live reactions, their energy, their feedback, tone of voice, their body language. I think it's just a lot
unmatched.
Better.
Fair.
Yeah.
Do you ever still have meetings on Zoom for work or for anything? Or any other
for
like video
work from home days? Yeah. But I think like it works better because I've spent so much time in person with people I work with. If it was full, remote, I don't know that the chemistry or the understanding for things would be the same. The level of trust, So thankfully there's that balance.
Yeah. I think for my work, a lot of teachers will say like, damn, like that meeting could have been an email, first of all.
Yes.
Or they'll say like, I wish we could still do our meetings on Zoom. And I'm kind of like the same, because I remember when we were doing meetings on the video conference, like I'd be walking the dog like at home and I'd be listening. I really would. I'd be paying attention, but I was like getting shit done while on these meetings instead of being, in the NPR for an hour and a half, just doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because, one of the arguments might be, for like anti work from home, anti Zoom calls is that, oh, like your productivity isn't as high. But I think like both sides can be true.
Yeah.
Sometimes like there's a lot of wasted time by being in front of someone when it's like, nah, let's just keep this short, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I like the take. I like the take.
But the whole month of December should be work from home.
And what, like New Year's Eve is like okay, get out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reset. I like it. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
Like you don't have to like stay away from your family and friends in December, but you don't have to come to work. Like everybody works from home in December. I don't know. That's
if you can
/want to.
Okay. What about the people that just can't?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Sorry, I spent too much on this topic.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one. I definitely get what you're saying. There was some good moments that came from it.
All right, what's your hot take? Give me at least
my
one.
hot take. Okay, I don't even know how to frame this, but when did I have this thought? Maybe Friday, this past Friday. And it came up because of the new Captain America movie.
Oh, okay.
I was getting my hair cut, and I was having this conversation with my barber, and he was like, have you seen the movie yet? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what'd you think of it? I was like, I liked it. And I don't know if you've seen it. You've seen it, right?
I've not.
No? Okay. Well, a lot of the comments that I've seen online, people hate on it, you know, and granted, a lot of the new Marvel movies, not very good. You know, the series, like, you know, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
All that. Okay.
Fair.
But I think this movie was solid. Like, it was entertaining. It was exactly what I thought it would be.
Give it a 1 out of 10 on your scale.
Like a 6.5.
Okay.
Which
decent.
It's passable.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. I'm not like, oh, why'd I watch that? Probably wouldn't watch it again. You know?
Ever?
Maybe not.
Okay.
But it was entertaining. You know, it
paid
scratched
for
the
it,
itch.
and you got what you paid for, essentially.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, the conversation led to talking about how all these people are commenting about the movie online and saying it's terrible and like, oh, like yada yada yada, these scenes didn't have enough of this, blah blah blah. So I was just like, it just feels like people are just looking for things to dislike, or they're so quick to compare it to like Avengers Endgame, let's say, right? So my hot take is just that's where it came from. But my hot take is more so like, why do you think people, generally speaking, not just with this movie example, but just generally speaking, always look for like the first thing that they don't like about something instead of looking for things that they do enjoy? You know?
Do you think that it's more fun to share a negative take and just to hate on things in general? Is that the only reason?
Is it fun? I don't know. I mean, it's not fun for me.
Well, if we're not even just talking online, but I think that when something comes out and it either doesn't live up to prior expectations, like right away, like you said,
Okay.
or they find one thing about it that they can like gravitate to. And I think I haven't seen it, of course, but I think that people are trying to maybe compare Sam to Captain America, which I can't think of his name right now. So thank you, Steve Rogers. Obviously, like, Sam is not Steve Rogers, and I think that's kind of the point of the movie. I haven't even seen it. He's not trying to be the next Steve Rogers, but I bet you a lot of people were like, "That's not my Captain America."
Yeah.
So then they just hate, and then that like spreads. And even if people haven't seen the full movie, or even if they did see it and they kind of actually enjoyed it, but they're like, "No, it wasn't like 10 out of 10," and then they just like hate it.
Yeah. Okay. That all that is fair. And again, like with this movie example, like maybe that works in that space. Just taking it outside of just the movie
in general
example, though,
okay.
Like just in general, just I find that whether it's like someone posting something that they worked on, or like maybe it's like, you know, a celebrity or a TV show or whatever. Just people just tend to lead with the first. They look for the first thing that they don't like about the thing, instead of looking for something that they do like. Yeah. And I just feel like my hot take is that that's a bad practice.
Yeah,
that is a terrible practice. I think it just leads to a lot of negativity and unhappiness.
Yeah,
and I just think it's interesting that people, because I mean, I'm sure I've done it too. I'm sure I do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why do we do that?
I've started to not look at reviews on like more and more things lately, to not have my, you know, like preconceptions altered, I guess you could say. So whether it be at the new Marvel movie or the new album or the new TV show, like I try and just go into it with the blank slate. And that also kind of goes back to like trailers. And I think, at least for me, when they showed Red Hulk in the trailer, I was like, damn, like don't spoil that. First of all,
let me have that moment.
Let me have that moment. Same thing when they showed Spider-Man in Civil War trailer. I was like, damn it, like I would have loved to see that like in theaters. Yeah. But all movies do that, and I think all TV shows do that. And we're not just talking about those two, but like I think that there needs to be a better way of like rolling stuff out sometimes that can lead to hopefully more positive reactions when things come out. But like you said, people just like to be negative, and that's inherently, maybe not inherently, but it's just a bad thing that we're doing now.
Do you think it's become more of a thing because of social media, online? Like it's just easy to comment a negative thing as this person that like you're probably like if I'm like a stranger, right, and I'm commenting on someone's post and I'm commenting some hate or some negativity, it's like, well, I'm probably never going to run into them, so there's no
it's like you're anonymous, right?
Yeah. So and it's like just like this like never ending cycle or loop of like, it's like, oh, someone goes to the comment section, they see other person comment, and they're like, oh yeah, they're right, like I hate that too.
I think that a lot of people are like playing this character of themselves in their head too. They're not actually like full-blown haters of that thing, but they're kind of like playing into the role that they have for themselves. That's me and the Lakers. Like I don't really hate the Lakers, like I despise them, right? But in our friend group and with everybody else that I meet, like they ask me, do you have an NBA team? And I say no, but I just, whoever's playing the Lakers, like I'm rooting for them. That's my team for the night. Because I grew up a Laker hater. Like, and where did it come from? I don't know.
That's still authentic though, like because you've stuck with it.
It is, but it's also like I don't actually hate LeBron James. Like if I met him, I would be the most respectful. Like, dude, like you're the man. Like I wouldn't be like fuck you, LeBron. Like no one would do that. And whoever says that they would in real life is a liar, I think. Unless he's playing. If he's playing and I'm watching the game and maybe like the Clippers and Kawhi are playing against LeBron, yeah, I'm gonna heckle him a little bit. But that's kind of like my role. And if he were to acknowledge my heckling, it would just make me feel good. I wouldn't like say nasty things.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it right there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's people just want to have this moment of acknowledgement like, oh, look, my opinion mattered.
That's the same thing at wrestling shows. Like, I don't actually hate CM Punk, but damn right, like whenever I go to a wrestling show, I'm going to boo the hell out of him.
It's part of the show.
Yeah, it is. It makes the show better for everybody involved, I think, if you kind of
Do you think that's true in spaces that aren't wrestling, though? Like taking it back to online or even like in person, like having sidebar conversations, like someone walks into a room and then like someone makes a negative comment on side.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it was a thought. Again, it started with the whole movie example, but for me, it led to this bigger idea of like, why is it that we as people tend to lead with looking for things that we don't like instead of looking for things that we do like? And this ties into like creativity for me. Yeah. Like when there's a new idea, most people, if you show them a new idea, they will be very quick to pick at the things that they dislike about it. But I think that's when you immediately kill the potential of what something good can be. Yeah. And I think it's a much better practice to rather when you're starting off or when you're exposed to something for the first time, rather than looking for the things that you dislike, you should always try to look for the things that you do like, even if it's something small, because whatever you do like, there can be something more meaningful rooted in that, you know?
Yeah.
And this can apply to everything in life, not just creative ideas. This could apply to dating. This could apply to like, I don't know, you're shopping for clothes, you know, and maybe you wouldn't ordinarily buy a piece of clothing, but then it's like, oh, I like the color of this. I've never seen that color. And you know, maybe your style gets better. Like you can apply it to so many different things, but
can you give me more examples of like the dating scene and how that would apply? Maybe personal.
Dude, okay, actually, this is a good one because I don't know if you've seen it on your feed. It comes up a lot on mine. Okay. These videos of people in a room with like this balloon where they pop. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, you don't get fed this content. No, interesting. Okay, no. So there's like a series. I don't know what it's called, but it'll show up on my Explorer page every now and then, and it's like maybe it's a girl that walks into the room and there's like 10 dudes and they're all holding a balloon, and if they're attracted to the girl, they won't pop their balloon. If they want to reject the girl, they'll immediately pop the balloon. Okay.
Wait. So if they like the girl, they don't.
They don't. They hold on to the balloon.
Okay.
So and it's like off immediate, just looks. Okay. And then anyone that still has a balloon, the host or whatever will walk the person down and then like go to the person that did not pop the balloon and just ask them like, oh, like, why didn't you pop the balloon? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. They'll go to the people that did pop the balloon first and be like, why did you pop the balloon? And the reasoning for like why they're rejecting the person is always so silly to me.
Something small.
It's something small. It's like, oh, their jeans are tight. Or like, I didn't like their shoes.
Really?
Her nails aren't painted.
Why, do you think that's because they want to be nice? They don't want to say like, oh, I think they're ugly?
Maybe.
That's why I would pop it. I'd be like, oh, I'm not attracted to them. I think they're kind of ugly.
As I'm saying this, I'm like, okay, like it's fair. It's a fair judgment to, if you don't like something, it's okay to just go with what you like or what you don't like. But I guess more so what I'm trying to get at is that I feel like you miss out on good things if you're always leading with looking for the thing that you don't like.
Yeah, of course you do. Like what if they had a conversation with that person and they're like, oh, like I actually don't care.
We have so much stuff in common or whatever. Right.
Your jeans are still too tight, but you're actually.
But we could change that.
Yeah. Like, oh, those shoes are terrible, but like, let's just get some new ones.
Yeah. So
I actually have seen that, and I think it's kind of like mean. I think it's mean to put people in that situation, but I know that they've got the approval. They do it on their own accord.
You're talking about the content I'm referencing. Right?
Yeah, when they come in and they're doing the balloon popping thing, and like everybody immediately pops the balloon. I'm like, damn, like that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Like imagine if I did that, like everybody popped, I'd be like, God damn, like nobody, not one person. But I don't know, like I would never do it in the first place.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just generally speaking, I think it's a good practice to just look for the things that you like.
Let me ask this now. I think it also applies. Like, do you think that everybody is just like trying and looking too much into seeking absolute perfection, whether it be in a partner, whether it be in, a movie, TV show? Like they just seek absolute 100%. Like that's it.
Yes, I think so. I think that social media plays a role, or plays probably the main role in that, because I mean, if we're still using dating as the example, if you're the type of person to have access or just more access to people, you put up with less, and a lot of times it's things that are very silly because of the access to multiple
there's more options,
potential partners or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good thing, in my opinion.
Is there a way to change it and to make us better and not do that?
I think just being open, just being aware of when it's happening, hopefully. Yeah. But other than that, no. I think it is what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Good hot take. I like that.
Okay. All right, moving on to our segment. What hurts this week?
And not always physical.
And not always literal.
You want to lead or you want me to lead it?
Okay. What hurts this week? You can start off.
Okay. So I'm a teacher. I teach English, and I teach this year, for the most part, AP Literature. And I coach golf for my school as well. So my student teacher this year is teaching my English 3 junior classes, doing a fantastic job. So they do all 3, and I do 2 AP Literature classes in the morning, 0 period and 1st period. And this happens every year. But this year I have like one student that is just way, way smarter than I am, like way more intelligent. And he just knows that he is more like intelligent and just knows more than I am. And he's just like getting under my skin every single day. Like he'll roll his eyes at me like when I say something. Yeah. And this kid is just, he's awesome in his writing. He's awesome in everything, but I think he like kind of hates me. So it's shaking my confidence as a teacher. Okay. So I'm just trying to find this balance of like trying to make sure that he's getting what he needs to hopefully get the high score, on the test, the highest score that he wants, but also make sure that the other kids that aren't at his level, they're also like hopefully going to try and pass the test, May 7th as well.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then don't even get me started on being a golf coach, bro. I'm not a good golfer. I was asked to coach 2 years ago for my team. And I was like, yeah, like for sure. I'd love to. I was, offered the assistant coach job, and I was like, perfect. Like I get to golf for free and help out as needed. And then the head coach bounced. like a week before school started, and then my AD, athletic director, was like, "Hey, like, can you coach?"
You're the guy.
And I was like, "Have you seen me play?" It's like, seriously, that's what I told him. I was like, "Are you sure you want to hire me? Like, I wouldn't hire me. And I'm terrible."
Man, what I'm about to say, I think applies to both. And I think what matters is that you care, first off. And I think that's in my opinion the most important thing for a teacher. Just thinking of my own experience, like when I was in grade school, high school. So I don't know. There's gonna be those personalities, you know.
Yeah.
Even outside. I mean, you know this. Even outside of like teaching.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing a good job, dude. And you clearly care. So don't let it shake you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. But
okay.
What's hurting for you?
I think I don't know. This is something that is very obvious, I guess, to me, but I think it's worth bringing up. And it's just, I've been feeling it a little more this weekend last, but it's just the general struggle and exhaustion of finding time to unwind, relax, rest. Even with this podcast, right? There's like so much things on the to-do list and like trying to stay busy and on top of everything. And now that we're in our 30s, it's always like, oh, like I gotta lock in. I gotta get shit done. And I struggle with energy and just, mental exhaustion of the work. And it feels never ending, which is a good thing. Mind you, I always think doing the work is a good thing, but it's just something that I can kind of feel myself starting to get a little burnt out. So, and I know we kind of touched on this before we started recording too, but it's just become so much more apparent that how important it is to be intentional about setting time aside to rest or to just do things that you enjoy. When we were younger, it was a lot easier to just using college as the example. Spontaneous, like just it's like my friends are doing this, like fuck it, let's just go drive to the whatever. Let's go drive to LA, go to the desert, go to that concert, that festival, whatever. Now that's not really possible. So it has to be planned, which in a way is like another to do. But I do feel like it's important.
Plans,
it can be quick plans too, but I do think that it's so important for your mental health and just being able to balance so you don't get burnt out and you don't like start hating all the things that you do. Because I mean, like even like this is fun, what we're doing here with this podcast, like having passion projects or even your work. I think you should be in a way fun. Yeah. Or even if it's not literally fun, you should look forward to it in the sense of like have pride in what you do for your work. I think it's very easy to lose sight of that if you start getting burnt out. So that's just something that I've been trying to keep in mind. And, I know we have a trip planned for the end of the month, some boys time. So
just driving up north.
Yep. So it'll be cool to just take a moment to not be thinking of
anything else,
everything on the to-do list and just unwind, So
I think you are getting better at that, like setting aside time to do whatever it is that you need. Your brother is really good at that too, and he kind of taught me about that now that he has a lot of kids and obviously his wife, and he's very good at like setting time aside for each of his children, but also time that like he will tell Lene like, hey, I want to go golf like with Adrian or with Jeff. Like I need some dad alone time. And he kind of taught me how important that is. Yeah, dude. I think especially when you have kids, it's just so easy to get overwhelmed. One kid is easy. I don't know how he does it. 3 kids. Yeah. 3 kids on top of working, long shifts hours, and just being tired all the time. Plus they just got a dog. Like, like, dude, you're crazy. He's good at it though, man. He's good.
Respect. All right, let's move on to our last segment. And
last main segment. It's quick.
Yeah, and so this is we're gonna try it for the first time, and it's like just something fun that we came up with while we were planning the podcast. And the whole concept is a 5 versus 5 draft. The topic or theme will change, if and when we do it again. But for the theme for this week or for this episode is things that fell off from the past. and we'll just do it. We'll pick out 5 different things that fell off. It can be, well, for this, it's going to be based on like nostalgia, things that we enjoyed as kids, or just, you know, when we were younger.
They're not the same anymore. They're not cool.
Not the same. Or maybe they don't exist anymore. And then you'll pick your 5, I'll pick my 5, and then we'll try to have a conversation on why one of our lists is better.
Okay. All right. So how do we choose who goes first?
Rock, paper, scissors. Let's go.
Okay, ready? Two out of 3 or just one?
This is the one. Ready?
Okay, ready? Are we on shoot or on 3?
On shoot.
Okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, so you got it.
Let's go, baby.
All right.
All right, you know who I'm picking.
I already know what you got.
Drum roll. You're not going to be able to hear that.
No. Let's not do that ever again, please. Let's never do that again. That was terrible.
That was so bad. Okay, my top pick is going to be Blockbuster.
Okay. And Hollywood Video or just Blockbuster?
I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Okay, well,
it's the same thing practically.
Tell me like your
Blockbuster's
best.
like in my opinion, just the heavy hitter though. Like from a memory standpoint.
Yeah, it was the best.
Yeah.
Like give me a memory. Give me something that you rented from Blockbuster where you're like, I'll never forget that.
Just like the whole experience of having Nintendo 64 and just renting video games. You know, we touched on it earlier in the episode. Like that is such a core, just precious memory of, you know, having like we would rent 2 movies, have what we would call a pajama party. We'd get a bunch of blankets, just put them on the floor, get some pillows. You know, we'd watch the 2 movies as family. And then like the next morning, if it was a weekend, my brother and I would wake up super early before our parents and just go turn on the Nintendo 64 and just play all day. Yeah. So yeah, that shit. Blockbuster's my center.
Okay. All right. So with my first pick, I'm going to go with... Okay, this is like a pick that kind of makes me sad. I'm going to go with Heelys with my first pick. And I say this because I never had them. And I still dream about having them. Like, you think I'm messing with you right now? Like, there are some times where I'll dream and I'll be like scooting through the park with some Heelys. Scooting through.
You'll dream, or you'll be at the park pretending you have some on?
No, I'll be dreaming that I'm scooting through the park with my Heelys on. Like, I always wanted Heelys, and my mom and dad, for whatever reason, they probably made the right choice and never got me them because I would have fallen and hurt myself. It's so efficient. They look so cool with 1 foot up and 1 foot down.
Completely forgot about them until you brought it up. Yeah.
And that's my first pick.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, I got to write that down just so I know, keep track of what you got. All right. Also, are you, since I picked first, you want to do your
Oh,
second?
yeah, I get 2. You're right. Okay. Nope. Okay. My next one is just knowing your neighbors and knowing people that you live around. And like growing up, like I didn't know obviously everybody that I lived next to, but I remember I had a few really close friends that lived next to me. My buddy Dave lived across the street. He was coming over all the time. My buddy, best buddy Justin lived walking distance as well. You know Justin. And it was just cool because like I felt like my mom and dad knew their neighbors. I knew, you know, a couple friends. And now I really couldn't tell you like people that I live next to. I know them and they've like come over and I've seen them, but I don't know their names. And at this point, like I'm really afraid to ask because it's like,
because it's been so long.
It's been like 3
it'll be
years.
Awkward.
I think that people back then like knew their neighbors more.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. I mean, I remember my entire childhood going over to the neighbor's house and knocking on the door and be like, "Can so and so come out and play?" And then we would just be playing catch with the football or riding bikes, jumping off the curb with a scooter.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, let's see. Ooh, I'm gonna pick toys in cereal boxes.
Okay, tell me.
Just the excitement of knowing that you're going to crack open a new cereal box to find a toy. Money.
That was it?
That was it.
Were there any that like stood out to you?
I can't remember any specific toys, but I just remember the feeling.
I remember them being terrible toys.
They weren't good. There's a lot of experiences like that just don't exist anymore. That was a good one.
Okay.
So,
all right, fair.
Okay.
Do you remember those little toys where it was like the rings and you would push the buttons and the rings would come up and you had to try and land the rings? For some reason, that was in like a show yesterday. I think it was in Severance. Spoiler alert. And I was like, damn, I actually really miss those little like handheld games that weren't video games. Can that be my next pick?
Sure.
Okay, so my next pick is like, Do you remember also the little like things that you would put up to your head?
Yes.
And you would click it, and it would change the image.
What are they called?
Not like kaleidoscopes.
Is that what it is?
No, because
I know what you're talking about, though.
That's my next pick.
Okay. Now, there was a lot of unique toys when we were kids that were really cool, nostalgic. Although I will say that generally speaking, the toys for kids now are just so much better.
Really?
Yeah, the toys themselves are just so much better. Like when I'm at Target and I'm going through the toy aisle with my son, I'm just like, damn, this is crazy. I wish they had these action figures when I was a kid.
I think they're overly complex.
They are, but that doesn't mean that they're not better.
I'd rather have simple.
Okay, fair point.
That's just me though. But that's my next pick. So that was my third pick. So I have a solid roster so far.
Solid nostalgic kids toys.
Okay, so yes, but non-electronic.
Non-electronic.
Like yes.
Cool
kids
non-electronic kids toys.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
From the past.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with, and remember this is things that fell off. Okay, I'm gonna go with kids having to carry books.
Having to carry or like
I guess just like both having to carry like at school and just like generally speaking reading.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Do kids read?
This I actually would have taken from you if you didn't write it down or take it. But I have only, I think, one student this year that actively will bring her own book that is just from home and like read for fun. And I do think that a lot of my students enjoy reading the things that I assign, for AP Lit or whatever.
I mean, when we were kids, like you had the whole Harry Potter series. What was the
Goosebumps?
Goosebumps. What's the Lemony Snicket?
Series of Unfortunate
That
Events.
one.
Yep.
So
cool.
I mean, you're obviously aware of this. I'm not, because I don't know what's going on in like the high school system today. But I mean, with us, when we were in high school, we had to check out our books like at the beginning of the year and carry them with us throughout the entire year, and then return them at the end of the year, and they were heavy.
And you'd be charged $100.
Yeah, and you'd be charged if you. So now that doesn't exist, right?
They still check out books.
Okay.
They, for the most part, keep them at home or in the class. Like I have a textbook for my IP class, and I'll just tell them like, hey, like you need your book today, so make sure you bring it. And if they don't, I usually find a PDF anyway.
They do have like a laptop or something, though,
They do have a Chromebook. Every kid has a Chromebook now. Yeah, every kid has a Chromebook. It's 1-to-1. They're not the best, but they work, and they work fine. Do you remember the Hardy Boys?
Oh, dude. Yes, I do. I do remember that one. That was the mystery books, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew. Were you a Nancy Drew fan?
Yep.
Oh, man, she was awesome. Oh, you remember Junie B. Jones?
Yep.
Ooh.
Amelia Bedelia.
Yeah, that was more you, but maybe a little bit, but I was more Junie B.
Okay.
Oh, Cam Jensen and all the mysteries that she was going through.
Nah.
She had the photographic
I don't remember
memory.
that one.
Dude, this is such a good conversation right now. So
Dude, I do not remember that one.
So this woman, this girl was the coolest. I think I had a crush on her through the books. Does that sound weird? Maybe
a little bit. It's a little weird.
Anyway, she had the ability to take a photo in her mind. She would look at something and then just say the word click, and then she would be like click, and then it was in her mind forever. So it was these mystery books where she would go to this event with her friend, and then she'd be like, oh, this looks a little odd. I'm going to start taking some photographic memories. And then shit would go down. Someone would get like killed or robbed or something. And then she would figure it out by all those things that she had in her memory.
Okay, that actually does sound pretty
Dude,
fun.
it was so cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty. But why would she have to say click, though?
Dude, come on now. Like, damn, that's a good pick. I think you beat me right there with that pick. Should I go next?
You should.
Okay, so you have 3.
I got 3 so far.
Okay, I have 3. I'm going to go with Chuck E. Cheese. And,
good one.
And you're going to argue with me on this.
I am.
But Chuck E. Cheese, back in the day, was a germ-filled heaven for
Yes, it was.
little Jeff, little Jason, my brother, little other monsters running around. It was a Wild West for kids.
Yep.
And it may still be, but it's not the same. And
Yeah. So I have actually been to Chuck E. Cheese recently because of, Cairo. They rebranded it completely. It's not the Chuck E. Cheese that you remember. They still obviously have Chuck E. Like he's a rat, right? I think he's a rat.
I think he's a mouse.
I think he's a rat, dude. I think he's a rat. Is he a mouse? Okay, whatever. It's different. It's more minimal. I mean, the rides and everything, the rides, like the entertainment, like the arcade stuff is still there. They do have a ball pit. They have like a trampoline section now where you kids can go in and jump.
Okay.
It's a little small though. It's not like, the actual trampoline parks that they have for kids. Really big, like dancing area. Like that's the thing. And the reason for it is crazy. Like their whole marketing thing is YouTube Kids. Like they'll have Chuck E do like these dance videos. And it'll be such on because I've seen it whenever Kyra was like using a tablet or whatever. I'm like, damn, like this is a whole like series of content that's just built out just to get kids to know, like, so because he knows who Chuck E. Cheese is, but we've been one time to the spot,
so it's very different now.
Yeah.
Would you go back soon? Like, how is it still pricey?
The pizza is actually good.
Pizza was always good.
I mean, the price is kind of what you remember.
Yeah,
it's not like, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not like.
Do they serve beer still?
I think they do. I don't think I got a beer when I was there.
Okay.
But I think they do.
I think from like my dad during the summer months when it was hot, like that was not a go-to. It was like maybe like a once every 2 weeks thing. But he would just take me and Jay there. He would get, a pitcher or two, some pizza, and then that would be a great way to get into some AC, for a few hours a day. And that was just like, for me, the best memories.
I have good memories of that as well. Yeah. Me and my brother just going ham on the arcade games, trying to collect tickets just to get some shit prize.
Yeah.
That's
my
spot.
number 4.
It's not clean though. Still, that never changed.
How can it be clean?
Yeah, I mean, with that many kids, it's impossible.
But yeah, Chuck
all right,
E.
good
Cheese.
pick. Okay, I'm gonna go. Ooh, I guess I'll go rock music.
Okay,
Explain. I miss. I kind of want it to have a comeback. Just the good old, Fall Out Boy, Green Day, All American Rejects type of style.
So punk rock, like specifically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't a heavy listener. I've always been like more hip hop and pop.
Yeah.
You know this, but obviously rock music when we were teenagers was the most popular genre of music. It wasn't like hip hop was popular as well, but it wasn't the number one genre. That didn't happen until maybe our late teens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's time. It needs to come back. But like there's no like new version of that.
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
And I guess that's really what I'm trying to say.
I have one more pick, right?
You have 3 so far, so you have 2 more picks, right? Did I miss one of yours?
I think I did 4.
You got Heelys, Knowing Your Neighbors, Chuck E. Cheese.
And then I did the games.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
So
You threw that one in.
Yeah. That came out of nowhere, actually. But that's real, because those old games are fun. Last pick. I'll make it quick. What fell off, I think, to me, this is more of a personal one. And it goes, maybe it kind of relates to the whole remake age lately, but Space Jam. Space Jam, for me, was iconic. Still is in a way. Still love the first one. Watched it probably a year or 2 ago, and I was like, damn, like it's not the same that I used to think it was. I still love MJ. Still love like the animation, but it's not quite as good as I remember. And then I watched number 2, I think during COVID, and I was like, damn, like this was a mistake. LeBron, like this was not the move for you. Not a good movie at all. I'll still wear the Toon Squad jersey if I have one. But yeah.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed the second one, though. But I see what you're saying.
So that's my last pick.
So, okay, that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, so since you took those 5, I'm going to take CDs as my last pick for music. So, and I'll pair this up with LimeWire. Okay. Even though it's like LimeWire is so far removed. So just, and this is just generally speaking how everything is streaming now. The idea of like owning a physical, CD for music. Back then, that whole experience of going to the store, buying it, opening it, seeing
it was yours,
seeing like the booklet, it was yours,
and it was the smell.
It was just the smell. It was just so cool too, to hit play, and then as the songs are playing, you're reading the booklet,
the lyrics,
and when they had the lyrics in there too, like
dang, I should have taken that one.
Yeah, you fucked up.
I think I did because the lyrics, I forgot that you would literally be able to learn the song by just looking at the booklet. And just like touching it, it was double albums with 2 CDs,
dude. Like. Yeah,
what was your, give me
experience? Like there's no in music, for the purpose of entertainment and just like that connection. there's nothing that like replicates that, right?
Yeah, I mean LPs like records still are
but
cool,
like it's so niche, you know. Like it's like you have to be the type of person like
to own a record player.
I think that's missing, and it sucks too because like now everything's so quick. Like, you know, it's like a quick little soundbite on social media, the way we consume content. So it's really tough to. I mean, maybe that's the reason why it becomes so difficult to stay up, you know, with or find a connection with like new music and things, because those types of moments have just been so far removed.
Do you have a CD that like comes to mind as just like your most played CD when you were little, or anyone that stands out?
No, it wasn't even most played, but like right now, you just saying it out loud, I just have this mental image of this album that I bought, because there was a time period where I used to just download, you know, music illegally like everyone else did with LimeWire and burn CDs and all that. And then, but once I started actually buying albums, I came across this like record label of like, it's kind of more like underground hip hop, at least at the time. It's not really underground actually. Like it's well known within, it's like a more hip hop niche label. It's called Rhymesayers. Okay. I think I probably mentioned it to you maybe. Anyway, so there was an artist whose name is Greaves, who, excuse me, I was big on for a moment. And I bought one of his albums just because I thought he was so dope. And like just the way it was packaged, like it was like this, like it wasn't like one of the jewel like plastic cases. It was like this paper booklet, but it would open in a really cool way, and it had this dope art, and it had like multiple inserts, and just like it was so creative to me. And that experience, I was like, damn, this is so unique, you know.
Did he have the song called Lightspeed?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a good song.
Yeah, it was.
I want to hear it right now.
So, yeah, it's a good song, dude.
Yeah, that was like totally senior year of high school, right? I was like, damn, like this song was made for me right here.
That one, and then through that label, I discovered like Atmosphere, you know, Dilated Peoples from there, which Dilated Peoples is separate to the label. But anyway, yeah, dude, I don't know, just the whole experience of CDs, so unique, and such a like emotional connection with the music artist.
I think for me too, like playing them in the car, like, you know, every car had a CD player or cassette player, but like that thing would stay in my car for, you know, months to years. Like even your CD that you burned, like that you played, that would stay in my Saturn at the time, or then like Kia Soul after that. So yeah, I do miss him a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good one. So okay, all right, who do you think has the better five? I got Blockbuster, CDs, toys, and cereal boxes. Okay. Did the experience of cereal boxes as a kid, as a whole, rock music, and then kids having to carry books, which I guess is still a thing from what you said, but
but just different now. What was my five? I forgot.
Your five: Heelys, knowing your neighbors, Chuck E. Cheese, and those cool little toys that you encountered as a kid,
and Space Jam. Dude, you won.
I think
for
so
sure.
Too.
You
Blockbuster's just carrying that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think your whole list was better.
Blockbuster, CDs is a good one. I think my weakest one was the kids one with books.
Well, good draft. I think you won the first one. You'll be 1-0. All
right, we'll be back. We'll be back the next time and see. Yeah, we got to figure out what the theme will switch. You know, whenever we bring it up, but I think it'll be fun.
It'll be good.
So
cool.
All right, cool. Episode 2 is done. We'll be back next time with another.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Good job, dude.
Let's go, baby.